It's lead nurture. One of the most, everything I say is the most because these five levers are super crucial. But like it's much easier to improve show up rates than it is to increase rates, right? And like even if your closing percentage is the same, just if you're able to double your show up rates, which is quite often very easy and the area where most people struggle at, because they get all of these leads because the previous strategies on lead generation that I showed are crucial. But people get happy that they think that once they've gotten the lead, their job is done when it's just started. Like it doesn't matter how many leads you have or how low your cost per lead is if you can't get them to show up, right? Because the actual thing we're tracking is cost per sale. That is the real number that we are after. And then obviously after that, the LTV. So scheduling rate is equally important, if not more important, than the closing rate, right? The reason for this is that this is the work, calling them and setting them up, which seems boring. And this is what seems basic, but this is what drives sales, what drives people into sales. And most people, or one of the biggest reasons why people say that lead gen isn't working or lead quality is poor is because they can't get their leads to schedule. And that's not because the leads are poor, that's because you don't know how to engage them. You don't know how to get them to communicate with you or how to set them up for sales meetings or whatever, no matter what play you're using, whether it's one-on-one or one-to-many. Show up rates are going to be one of the biggest levers on the business. And how do I know this? Because previously we worked in the webinar and self-development, like I've marketed tons of events. One of the biggest issues that events would have are poor show-up rates. And these, they continue to decrease over time because there's just so much noise out there, and especially if you have the actual sales conversion mechanism, which is a sales call, one or one to many. If that's happened like weeks or months later, the lead has already forgotten about you by then. Contacting them, keeping them warm until the day they show up for the meeting is absolutely crucial. And I will quickly cover how we can do that regardless of the system that you have here. So this very brief thing here is my lead nurture guide, right? I've tried to keep it compact. Some of these things can be automated. Like you can automate sometimes nurturing sequences or reminders and all of those things, which is going to be included with email templates and everything else for both events or for one-on-ones in like one of the guides in the portal, right? And this one, I'll give you the overview, explain to you the steps without overwhelming you guys with tech stuff so much. So even if you don't do that, this should still keep you ready. Alright, so first or the easiest thing you could do to start off with is get the leads to get like set up an email notification or text notification as soon as possible. And there will be a tutorial for this in the description or in one of the tech courses portals. Within Go High Level, it's super easy. You just go to automations, even if you're running lead form ads or whatever, or even if you're doing affiliates or whatever process you're using, right? Um, that is not directly like doesn't include that much involvement for you. You can set up automations either through within Go High Level itself or through Zapier to send you a text notification as soon as a lead comes in. And ideally, you want to contact them. And I've mentioned this later within 5 minutes of them opting in. They're free at that time. It's the best period to schedule them in. It's kind of humorous. They would be impressed by your speed and you can like joke about it and stuff like that. But also just generally like that, it can increase your show up rates by up to 4 to 5%. 400 to 500 times more show up rates just by contacting the lead in 5 minutes. How crazy is that? So, like these two things are some of the biggest levers on sales, which is not your closing skill itself, but these two actions. First one is calling the lead within 5 minutes of them opting in. Absolutely crushes your scheduling rate. Even if your script is messed up, even if your reminder sequence isn't as good. This just ensures so many people pick up, and that makes life easier for all of us. Second is when they're booking on your calendar for both sales call or whatever, have as much availability as possible, right? The salesperson who has the most availability gets the most bookings because you want to meet them where they are. Don't come up with those like weird excuses, oh, they're not serious enough if they don't want to book in 1 week later when I'm available. You are trying to sell them here. They don't know you. They don't see the value because they don't know you, and there are like 100 other fitness influencers out there and cat videos and all this other thing fighting for their attention. So, especially right now, you need to warm them up first, right? Heck, even if people know you, it's like still difficult to get them to schedule because of how scarce attention is these days. But hopefully, we don't need to worry about that, right? So, set up an automation so you get a reminder right away as soon as a lead come in, whether it's a funnel or whether it's a giveaway or whatever the case is. Because if you're doing virtual one-on-ones or in-person one-on-ones at your gym, you want to be able to schedule them right off the bat. Okay. Play one, immediately call the lead to schedule them. Play two, after they've opted in, whether it's on the funnel, whether it's on the lead form, redirect them. This can be done through an automated email or on the second page to book in on your calendar, right? The reason I've added this and the reason I recommend you combine both of these strategies is because I've noticed a lot of you, especially when you're starting out, don't call the leads. Like I've had this happen where I've implemented the system and like your willpower goes away for some reason when it comes to calling and scheduling them up. So for those of you who are starting out and just want to create a situation where you have no choice, add your calendar on the second page. You'll get some bookings, but this is like generally it's like 20% or something compared to what you can scale that up a lot easier by actually calling them up, right? So whatever offer we have, we give them in, you get all of these bonuses and then schedule in your call where we can show you how you can get those. So everybody who has booked in now, you're not worried as much, so you can call them to confirm them for the session. For the ones who haven't confirmed, but have added their names on the lead form, you can call them to book in a session, right? And yeah, so what would the contact sequence look like for those who haven't booked in? Also, if you can see, it's 1:35 a.m. right now, so I'm whispering a bit. But always double dial. So don't single dial, try to double dial. Call them twice, right? On the first day, you do that once in the morning or afternoon and once in the evening, and then leave a text or a memo or a voice memo after every single one of them. Remind them to book in or remind them for the session. You do that again for the second day. On the third day, send them a personalized video message. Just record a video. Show them, tell them about why the challenge is important and they need to show up, right? So, um, or whatever offer you have, and that you've got something personalized for them. So get them to book in, right? You double dial and text once on day four, you double dial and text once on day five. Day 10 is the scarcity push. Normally, if they don't book in by day 10, the lead is lost. So over here, I would emphasize the limited spots and run like a Chris Voss style. Have you given up on working with us play? So get them to confirm the no. Have you given up on this offer? Right? Like if this feels like this is sort of where they won't get the chance again, uh, this quite often gets people to sort of give a response back, right? And then day three, check in, remind them you exist. Do a pulse check on day 60. Hey, I saw this article. It reminded me of you. Just wanted to share it with you. And based on whatever response you gave earlier, like not trying to get them to schedule anything, just keeping in contact. Because again, in the fitness space, they might not be ready in the first 10 days or week or two, but 60 days later, something bad would have happened. Maybe they were going through a breakup. Maybe circumstances have changed and now they need you, right? Have those systems. And this is easier to just automate this as well, but otherwise, you can manually do it too. Like people have been doing this manually for ages before automations existed. If you don't want to be that techy enough and you're just getting started, you can just do this manually. Just look at your lead sheet, send them emails, um, or just send a one-off email by selecting all of them. Otherwise, just do like do you can set them in CRM automations where add them into a separate list or a separate tag which is automatically sent a sequence every 30 days with like a set article or something that you want them to know. All right, now, how will you schedule a call? So this is an effective script. So I would normally start by calling them and saying their name. So let's say we got a lead, Sarah, who is a single mom struggling with losing weight after pregnancy, and she wants to go back to her high school weight or whatever. So I might say, Sarah, pause. And then she would get back to saying, yes. And then you say in an excited tone, like you already know her, she should know you. This is Sam. And then you do a small pause. Sam from World Gym. Okay. And then I would just follow that up by quickly saying, I'm calling because you signed up for our 6 weeks boot camp. We only have a few spots left. What time works best for you? When do you want to come in for a meeting? What time works best for you, right? I might literally just set it up like that. Like it's really smooth, really easy. Now, sometimes when instead of the excited tone, you can use a different opener. So this is where I've added the Jeremy Miner's line, uh, alternative add-on, which is wondering if you could possibly help me out for a moment here. So that gets them to engage. The thing is, when we're booking in with them, the goal is we're not selling them anything here, unless they're free, which is optional. And if you have time, but generally you call them to schedule the sales call. Don't not calling them to just sell them directly, and also takes pressure off you. But yeah, so wondering if you possibly could help me out here. I'm calling because you signed up for our offer on Facebook, and we only have a few spots left. So I was wondering if you can tell me what time you can come in. I would use a complete different tone where I'm trying to get them to help me and work with me, right? You're still assuming the close in both situations where you're assuming they're gonna come in. Um, if you want to personalize it even more, tailored to them. So you can literally directly mention, you mentioned that you were struggling with losing weight after your after the birth of your new baby boy. Congratulations on that. But also, um so what time do you like we can definitely work with that on the challenge or something like what time do you want to come in? Or when are you available tomorrow this week for or today or tomorrow for our um nutrition call or whatever your offer is, right? Just ask them based on that. Now, that's like generally how they would respond. Now, over here, if they tell you or they come up with some reason, generally this works. The only objections they would throw here is, wait, I can't, I'm busy or something. And again, these are just obstacles. Like, we are not trying to sell them anything here. This is like kind of, I don't have 30 seconds to give you an answer. Everyone has 30 seconds, even if they're busy. Like they would tell you, or they wouldn't pick up at all. So if they've picked up, like you just tell them, like if they say, hey, I'm busy right now, you'd be like, hey, totally get it, completely understand. What time? No, you actually say, no problem. What time can you come today? Or what time can you come tomorrow for your meeting? Like I would literally affirm them and then get them to book in again because they just need to give me a time. It's like literally one word answer, right? Um, and you try to book as many as you can. Those that wouldn't hear will likely not come anyways. So you don't need to worry about them. This is gonna be fun. This is a whispering video on lead nurture, like my voice is low. Anyway, so key booking goal is that you want to aim to schedule a meeting on the same day or the next day. Because people are in the zone, they're in the mind, they would otherwise talk themselves out of it, or something else would happen later. Don't schedule meetings 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. Don't call them 2 days, 3 days later. Like you're wasting leads. And that's what most businesses do. Like, don't do it. Like, I can't stress this enough. Don't try to call them worst case within the first day and try to book them in worst case within the first week. This is worst case because this would still kill your closing and rates by like almost 70%. And if you're okay with that, then you can delay and use your lazy ass. But don't be penny wise and dollar foolish, all right? Like I've seen business owners do this where they're so worried about saving money or so worried about lowering cost or saving up on subscriptions. And this is something that definitely loses you money. And you deliberately don't want to call people because your ego is too high or whatever reason it is. And you don't want to automate it or come up with a solution so that you're losing out on your purpose and your goal and your business and the people you could have helped. Um, like this is the difficult work, but do it. Just like how people don't stick to workouts and you hate them. I hate it when you don't stick to business workouts, and this is like a business play. Anyways, so moving on. Aim to schedule the meeting same day next day. That's fine. Now, confirmation reminders and systems. This is equally important for showing up because people will schedule, people will sign up for webinars or events even after you've called them, and then the day happens and they don't show up. Happens all the time. We want to maximize it as much as you can. You most likely will never get 100%. If you get, you're extremely good. But like generally, if you can get for one-on-ones, 50 to 70%, and for webinars that are free, you can get like 30% to 40%. That's extremely good. Otherwise, like having 30 to 50% schedule rates or 20% for webinar is considered good, but like just try to be on the better side because you don't want to go off industry averages. And again, getting the show up rates from 30% to 60% can double your sales, even if your closing is the same. This is why this is so important. And you can do that by adding a few of these steps that I'm mentioning here, which takes like a fraction of the time and effort than it would to actually do a meeting and close somebody. Plus, think of everything you could do when you close them. Anyways, moving on. So, booking confirmation, once they've booked, whether this is a webinar, whether it's a one-on-one session, maybe add this as an automation or just manually send them an email confirming. Don't do it for webinars. Webinars I try to automate or events I automated from end to end. Same for other funnels. Like we'll show you the email sequences and everything else in the previous video. Hopefully, you've already seen them, how to set up sequences, and you use the same process here. Um, Added value. Now, this is even more important. If you want to increase your show up rates even more, give them something personalized, send them a personalized video message. Yes, this is going the extra mile. This might not be scalable, but again, imagine you spend 1 hour on a sales call, and you're doing one-on-ones. Just spend like 30-minute videos and send them to the prospects. And if that just doubles your conversion, how is that not worth it? Right? Anyway, so send them a personalized video message or hand it a note on a goodie bag. Like give them something. Be like, hey, I've prepared this um, bundle for you. Like if they're coming in for a gym in person, so be like, I've got this goodie bag for you, and it has like a note with their name on it, which is just like a sticky note. You can write their name. Or digitally, you could be like, I've prepared this personalized training plan for you, or I've prepared this free gift for you, or something, right? And you can also send them a video and stuff and remind them and be have that high energy, have that experience. Now you obviously remind them 1 day prior, and this is important. Call to confirm. Again, emphasize preparedness. Say, hey, just confirming you're ready for our call tomorrow, or send them a voice message. I've planned out the action steps and everything that we're going to take to ensure that you get the goals that you're after. We frame that as we're providing value, and they will see that you've taken the time and the investment to do it. So their show up chances are going to be even higher, right? If they don't respond to both your text and confirmation call on the same day or the day before, try again on the same day if they don't respond on the same day. Um, Reschedule them on the next day. Like you don't have to waste that time. Okay, so if they're not confirming like 6 hours before the session, and the day before also in the confirmation email, just ask a question at the end, reply to this email to confirm you're still coming, right? If they don't show up, tell them, hey, I just wanted to know that I didn't like, as I couldn't get your confirmation for your email. I know things come up. I've rescheduled us again for the next day on the same time or whatever time suits us. So just give me a reply back to confirm if that works for you or if you want to change anything, right? And during that time, call the leads that are scheduled for late, try to push them early, um, and try to have a meeting with them. But yeah, like your calendar should always be full. Okay. Automated reminder, yeah, reminder sequences, you can set them up for both meetings and everything else. Normally, your calendar booking software would do this on your own. So you don't need to worry that much about it. Things that you can add is personalized videos, messages, emails with reciprocity-based things, and confirmation sequences. Okay. Now, during the meeting, 5-minute rule. If they've booked the meeting and they haven't shown up, within 5 minutes, call them. Quite often they don't have the link or they have some other technical issues. Don't just like be happy or thank God this person didn't show. Like, don't be like one of those crazy salespeople. Like, what's the point of wasting all this time, anyways, right? And I've seen people do that. They're like, uh, it's just builds a bad habit that keeps on biting you in the ass throughout your business journey. Don't do things that will compromise your whole, it's like there's this concept called spillover effect where if you mess up in one thing and you're not going all in on one sector, it justifies your brain to not do that for others as well. And that's like one of the ways people just self-sabotage themselves. Anyways, 5 minute rule. It doesn't hurt, call them. If they don't pick up, that's fine. You can do something else productive in the same time. Now, follow up for when they ghost you. So they booked up, they didn't show up, right? You can call them in the next day. If they pick up, you can just use this. Like, I always learned this from Hormozy, where he had this video where he would use this ghetto tone where he'd be like, um, Sally, um, let me actually re-watch the script. I think it was in his interview with Daniel G, but he said something like, "Hey, I have a ball of tears right now. I'm really sad. I know you didn't show up. I'm just like about to jump off a cliff. But no, I'm just kidding. I know something comes up. Listen, I have this thing for you that is ready. So let me know when you're available and we can schedule our session again." So you exaggerate, you say that in a fun tone, and then you circle back saying that you still have it prepared for them and what other time works for them, right? So it doesn't like come across as that hard tension. And here's a tip for lead nurture and also for sales. You can practice this with ChatGPT. So I'll just show this to you guys right now. So on ChatGPT or other platforms, like you can set up, they have these voice agents. So if I click over here, let me turn the volume to a bit low. It's not loading. It is, finally. Hey, chat, can you hear me?
Hey, how about you? What's new with you today?
Perfect. Can you help me role play a sales call with, or sort of an appointment scheduling call with a lead that opted in for our 6 weeks challenge?
Absolutely. I'm up for that. So let's say I'm the lead who just opted in for the 6 week challenge.
Okay, I'm not
And
going to do the whole
you're going to
thing.
be
It's late. Um, let's just close this, right? So that's the example. And this was the Jeremy Minor intro that I had saved up. Um, but yeah, so practice with voice agents, have strong lead nurture sequences, and this would just make life so much easier for you. Even if your closing or sales skills aren't as good yet, you can make up for that with lead nurture because it's really simple things that you could do which could have a huge impact in the long run, right? And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.